A two-parter all at once. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess K. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Bloodbound and Curtain Call by Zacker9. So this is a donation reward for Isabella. Thank you for donating, Isabella. And it is a set of two animated short films on YouTube. The channel they were put up on is Zacker9, which is spelled all lowercase ZACCR.9. And I don't know anything about these. Apparently these came out, I think, years apart. And yeah, the second one, Curtain Call, is a sequel to Bloodbound. I don't really know for what that means or what that's going to come into play for, but yeah. I know nothing about these. I've never heard of them. It's just not something that's... I've never heard of the channel. Never come across in my life. The titles are pretty, simplistic. Like, Bloodbound implies to me, a number of things. It could imply a blood pact, which, fuck that shit. That's unsanitary and gross and freaky and weird, and I don't like it. But it could imply something, more like family, like you're bound by blood in terms of, your familial connection and everything. It could mean a few things here and there, and I have to feel like it's probably one of those two, though. Curtain Call is usually in reference to the theater, and it's usually, in reference to, the ending of the show. So I don't know, what that's gonna have to do with this, unless it's referring to, maybe it is some kind of creepy blood thing, and maybe there's a character who dies, because Curtain Call has been used as a term connected to death as well, so there's that possibility. Otherwise, I just don't know. I don't know what we're getting into. I don't know what to expect. And honestly, I'm just hoping to enjoy this. I'm just hoping that this ends up being good. But we are doing both, and they're pretty short. I think the first one's 2.5 minutes or something, and the second one's double that. Something along those lines. And hopefully they end up being good and telling an interesting story. But I guess we shall see. So like I said, this is from Isabella. This is
a donation reward for Isabella, and my knowledge is non-existent. But I would love to, nonetheless, find out what this is and hopefully find something new to really enjoy. So let's get into it and see what we have in store.
Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out.
Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, my thoughts changed between the first and the second of these. So I'm going to talk about these in order and go through my thoughts as I was kind of watching this. So, with the first one here, Bloodbound. Again, this one is like half the length of Curtain Call. But you have two girls. It seems like they're school age to some degree, but they're both also training to be actresses. And we see right off the bat that one of them, I don't think they were ever given names, so I'm just going to call her I'm just going to refer to them as long hair and short hair, just for sake of ease. We see that long hair has killed another girl. This other girl was getting all of the praise, all of the attention, accolades. She was getting everything that long hair wanted. And so long hair killed her. And short hair discovered this because she has a massive crush on long hair, and I guess had followed her into the woods and stuff. And so we see through this that they end up forming a pact and end up like getting together through keeping this a secret, hiding the body, hiding everything to keep it a secret. And you can tell right away that that long hair is using short hair in this regard, that she's manipulating her. It's very clear that long hair doesn't reciprocate the feelings in the same way, that she's lying about doing so. She's doing this just to keep her secret so she can continue to rise to the top. And then we have Curtain Call. And this changes things quite a bit. Because Curtain Call kind of follows through that narrative. We get to see like how short hair ended up seeing long hair for the first time and falling in love with her. And then we see that after the murder, long hair is getting popular. She's getting what she wanted. She's becoming a big name, and she's going to end up like leaving town in order to pursue this like next step in her career, right? Short hair is clearly not happy with this because she's still, super in love with her. And so it ends up being revealed that the body of the victim was found. And while they're discussing what to do next and everything, like, short hair says that she'll continue to keep it a secret if long hair doesn't leave town and instead stays with her. This kind of clues in long hair that short hair may have had something to do with it. And so she asks her, it's like, you didn't pull that body out, did you? You didn't uncover this just to have me stay. And she basically admits that she did. Short hair, like, basically just says, I did this for us, without using those exact words. And it recontextualizes this from being like a one-sided crush being manipulated by a toxic person to, oh no, both sides are toxic. Both sides are actually very uncomfortably toxic. In different ways. Because you have long hair who's manipulating short hair into this relationship in the first place, through, the entire murder that happened. But then you have short hair who goes out and manipulates long hair to try and stay, by, uncovering the murder. Not like admitting to it or anything like that, but making it so that it would, that the victim would be found, so that long hair wouldn't leave. This leads to a fight. Short hair scratches long hair's face, we see. And down the line, as like short hair is being chased, she does end up killing long hair. But it then goes to what appears to be decades later. Short hair has actually become famous through writing a book or books, either about this experience or about like something similar. Maybe it's like touted as a fiction, but it's like based on this. And she's kind of keeping long hair's memory and everything alive through this. And it showcases this as like obviously very toxic, very unsettling, and kind of fucking creepy, if we're being honest. And it shows that love can control and manipulate and twist a person just as much as a desire for fame. That just because her reasons for doing the things she did were, love, doesn't mean that it's any less fucked up what she's done. Just like long hair before her, she became a murderer. And she did it for selfish reasons. Different kind of selfish reasons, but still selfish reasons. And it's sad to a degree, but I feel like it's also like very intensely honest and real. Because you just feel like these characters come across as like almost real people who are like pushed into this kind of negative mental space through the circumstances around them. I mean, you see that short hair was living like under abusive parents who, the father was also hitting the mother and stuff. And she used television and those dramas as an escape. And long hair was so like obsessed with the idea of fame. We don't know if there was like a specific reason for that, but so obsessed with the idea of fame and making it as a star that like even someone else doing better than her set her off. You know what this kind of makes me think of? Weirdly enough, I don't know if anybody remembers when I did a reaction to this like years ago at this point. Or if anyone just knows the song in general, but there's a song that I think is part of like a concept album. And it's called The Ballad of Sarah Berry. It's a song that chronicles a high school girl who, through the pressures put on her by her father and other students, because of her popularity and everything, ends up going crazy, literally going insane, and committing mass murder of other students at her school to try and make it so that she can become homecoming queen. All because it looks like the crown is going to be taken from her by another girl who, has been going through a lot. And it's a really heavily emotional song that makes me cry even just thinking about it. I'm getting emotional because it's a story about a girl who was failed. A girl who was failed by her parents by the school, by the adults, and even other students around her. She was like, she had so much pressure put on her that it literally caused her to snap. It literally caused her to have a mental breakdown. Because she was made to feel like if she couldn't be the most popular girl, if she couldn't be homecoming queen, then she didn't matter. It's not a cautionary tale against, Sarah Berry herself, but against the people who made her the way she was. And this kind of makes me think of the same thing. Short hair here became toxic and became like a murderer in the end because of the circumstances of her, terrible household life, drowning herself in, television to avoid that while, ignoring reality around her, and falling in love with someone who was actively and horribly manipulating her. Everything kind of worked out in a way to where it caused her to have this really demented view of the world, and she ended up not being able to handle things well because of it. She was in love with someone who was so terrible, and that was affecting her whether she knew it or not. Long hair's toxicity was seeping into her. And so she, again, when she refused to let long hair go, and so she uncovered the body, it's it shows that she had been she had come face to face with that same kind of toxicity. And it sucks. Because in a way, she's a victim, but she is still responsible for her actions. And from what we can tell, never received any repercussions. Because again, the other part seems to be decades later. She's clearly much visibly older. And again, is writing these books now. If I go back to this real quick, I'm going to mute this, obviously, so there's no audio issue on here. But yeah, it looks like it's a volume 2 as well. So it's it's at least the second book she's written about this. But she's famous. She's got the press there and everything. She's giving this big, speech about it. It's like this entire thing has just, she doesn't even seem sorry about what happened. She just seems like she's just dead to the world at the end. Her eyes even kind of narrow to the point where it just feels like she's just, emotionless. And again, just to reiterate, dead to the world. And so I feel like I feel like it's just a case of a cycle of toxicity. And how this kind of thing just, keeps pushing others into falling under its spell as well. It sucks. It's terrible. It's depressing. But it's very real. And yeah, I think these were very good. They conveyed a lot with very little. They were very short, but they got every bit of information that they needed to out. I think that this was a very successful set of animated short films. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, so let me know in the comments below what did you think of them. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See you all next time.